Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders Picks here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. I really hope that you guys tailed me on all my picks yesterday because we actually had a perfect day yesterday. We ended up going 3-0 in yesterday's picks. Just a quick little recap, just in case if you guys didn't get to catch the video yesterday. Yesterday's picks, I had the Bucks minus, I think it was 4.5, 5.5, something like that. But I knew that Giannis was actually questionable um, as opposed to like doubtful or anything, and I figured they'd win by 5 or 6 anyway. So I bet it early, so that way if Giannis did decide to play, it would just be an extra piece of the puzzle. I bet the Warriors -7, I think. But yeah, I think. But that was a pretty easy pick for me. Cavs, they've been good as of late, but I don't know. I just didn't like the matchup. I thought the Warriors were gonna just run them out of the gym, so I personally liked that one. And then I bet the Celtics -6 or 7, I think. No, it was -6. It was definitely -6. Yeah, so I ended up going 3-0 yesterday, and if I would have bet this game, which I should have, because I would have taken the Kings plus 12.5, because that's just way too big of a number, and I just didn't like it. I thought it was way too big of a line, so I would have taken the Kings in that one, but that's okay. 3-0 is still very, very good. So nothing to scoff your head at, or whatever. So let's get into today's picks for April 16th of 2021. We have a big slate, so I'm just going to go ahead and just go through what I think is best. First game, Indiana versus Utah. It looks like Indiana is 10-point dogs. So I got to be honest. Let's see. So Miles Turner's for sure out, which is very unfortunate because, as we all know, Rudy Gobert is on the Utah Jazz, and he's a very, very good center. But I got to be completely honest here. I think that since it's the early game, so it's at 2 o'clock my time, 3 p.m. Eastern, I personally feel like Indiana is going to cover that. I don't think that they will. I don't think that they'll win, but I do think that they will cover that 10 points. And Indiana has done me pretty well so far. They were only 3.5 points favorites for whatever reason against Houston. I ended up taking that. Against Memphis, I ended up taking that. So they've done me pretty well. And now since they added Karis LeVert, he can really score the basketball. So I feel like there will be a lot of scoring in this game. And I just really like it. And when it comes to Indiana in this spot. Next is OKC versus Detroit. It's going to be such an ugly game. Detroit is 7-point favorites. I want to take a look at the over-under real quick. Let's see. So it's at 215.5. See, that's kind of a big total. Like, not necessarily when it comes to like regular games, but for a pillow fight type game like this, I'm not sure if I like it. I probably won't be betting it. If I had to pick a side, I think it'll be OKC plus 7, just because that's a really big margin. But it looks like a lot of the sports books already have it at like 3 or 2.5. So there's no shot that I'd be betting any of that. So next game is New Orleans versus Washington, and it's literally a pick'em game. I want to take a look at injuries real quick. So Lonzo Ball is probable. So hopefully he plays. Let's take a look at Washington. The only one out is Thomas Bryant. So they're not necessarily at full strength, but they're very, very close. So they have Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, and so I'm going to wait on this game. I'm going to wait. But I got to be honest. If Lonzo is playing, I'm going to take New Orleans. Even if it is that -2.5 or -3. New Orleans is a very good team. Brandon Ingram is probably going to have like 30 tonight. And Bradley Beal definitely could have 30 as well. But I feel like Zion is such a force. down low, and the Wizards don't really have anyone to stop him down low. The only thing is I feel like Westbrook's gonna have a big night tonight, so that makes me kind of concerned. But I do think I like New Orleans in this spot. So next game is the Clippers versus the Sixers. I want to take a look at injury news once again. Tobias Harris is questionable, so that's big. That is very big. So make sure you guys watch out for this. With that line being so close, I feel like he is playing, because I feel like without Tobias Harris, Philly probably wouldn't be like favorites unless it. Oh, and Kawhi Leonard's questionable, so it probably does even out. You just got to watch for injury news on this one. You got to watch for injury news. But I will be honest, if Kawhi Leonard and Tobias Harris are playing, if they're both playing, neither of them are on a minutes restriction, none of that, I think I'm going to take Philly, minus the 2.5 or minus the 3. The reason for that is just because I just feel like they're a better basketball team, and right now the Clippers starting center is Zubac, who's okay, and they have DeMarcus Cousins off the bench, who's okay, but I mean, Joel Embiid is putting up ridiculous numbers on some of the best centers in the league, and he has a very strong case to win MVP. Now, obviously, him getting injured kind of set him back a little bit, but you're talking about a team that has a 6'11 point guard. You're talking about a team that has the MVP, and you're talking about a player that, in Tobias Harris, that can give you 25 or 30. You have lockdown shooter, like 3-and-D type players in Danny Green as your 3-and-D guy. You have Seth Curry, who's an absolute sharpshooter. You even have some really good rookies off the bench, like Shake Milton, and you even have a lockdown off the bench, Matisse Thybulle, and then you got Korkmaz, who's a scorer. So, I mean, all of these factors, I just personally feel like is in Philly's favor. So I like Philly tonight, minus the 2.5, as long as Tobias Harris and Kawhi Leonard are in, or if one of them is out. I don't know. I probably won't bet the game, but for now, I'm sticking with Philly minus the 2.5. Next game is Orlando versus Toronto. This game is going to be an absolute crapshoot. This game is going to be so ugly. Kyle Lowry's out. Gary Trent Jr. is doubtful. DeAndre Bembry's doubtful. OG Anunoby's out. Siakam's out. Van Fleet's out. They are going to have no one. So, literally, Siakam's going to be out. Anunoby's going to be out. So, you're looking at a lineup of Malachi Flynn, probably Yuta Watanabe, Rodney Hood, maybe Stanley Johnson, and Chris Boucher, probably at center. That's what you're looking at. I have a strong feeling Toronto is trying to tank. I think that they're literally just trying to say, I'm done. We're just going to try to go for a top pick. We're not a very good team. And it looks like they're going to lose Lowry in the offseason, rightfully so. But I think they're going to lose Lowry in the offseason, so they're probably just going to try to tank. So I am taking Orlando plus 1.5, or the money line if it's plus odds. Let's see. Orlando, plus 115. You can get it at plus 125 on Caesars. That might be worth looking into. I like Orlando a lot. Orlando really hasn't been that bad of a team. They have been, but lately they haven't been. So, they've lost a lot. But they, they kept it close with Indiana. Washington just had too many scores there. Not much you can do. So they're about 5-5 over, 6-4 over their last 10 against the spread. I'm gonna go ahead and take probably Orlando plus 2.5 or the money line, whichever one. Next is Charlotte versus Brooklyn. Brooklyn is 13.5 point favorites. If So James Harden is out for sure. Chris Chios is out, and Tyler Johnson is out. So they're still going to have Kyrie. They're still going to have Kevin Durant probably, or at least it seems like it. So, let me take a look at Charlotte real quick, see kind of what's going on there. Wanamaker's questionable. Devontae Graham is out. PJ Washington is doubtful. Malik Monk's out. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good spread. 13.5, 12.5, whatever the case might be. That is just honestly like, that's a big spread. That's a very, very big spread. And I don't know if Brooklyn is going to want to try that hard to win by 14, 15, and they might not even have to try hard to win. But I don't like this game. Not going to bet it. You guys know me if you guys have been watching the channel. I just do not like big spreads. I think I hate big spreads. So I'm not going to be betting that game. Next game is Denver versus Houston. Denver is only 8-point favorites, which seems odd to me. I mean, I know Jamal Murray's out, but they still have Nikola Jokic, who's probably going to win MVP. They have Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Will Barton, Monte Morris, Campazzo, Millsap off the bench. I mean, they still have a very good basketball team. Houston has been pretty tragic as of lately, and I mean, they're still missing so many players. I mean, their starting five is decent, but after that, like, you're looking at a crapshoot. So I don't know. I think I want to take a look at the total. Before I make my pick. 225 or 227. For this game in particular, oh, that's tough. That is a very tough line. I'll come back to it. I'll come back to that one. I'll come back. And I'll just explain my reasoning as to why I think it could go either way. The thing about Houston is, other than like John Wall, they're a very young roster. Like, I guess Kelly Olynyk isn't that young, but other than that, they have Jayshawn Tate, who's very young. They have Kevin Porter Jr., very young. Christian Wood, very young. They're going to try to get up and down, I think. Wait, is Houston playing in a back-to-back? No, because they didn't play yesterday. Okay, so, yeah. Both teams are not going to be playing a back-to-back. So, I don't know. This one is going to be tough. I feel like they're going to try to get up and down, and Denver's not really going to have much of an answer for it. But I'm going to go against my gut. My gut feeling is telling me Houston is going to cover that 8 points. So I'm going with Denver minus that 8 points. I could genuinely just see it either way. Jokic is probably going to have a big night, but, I mean, other than that, I just don't know. So I'm going to go Denver minus 8. Next, we have Miami versus Minnesota. This one is kind of a rough game again as well. For whatever reason, D'Angelo Russell is still not starting. Excuse me. And I don't know why. He's not starting. But we have Rubio, Anthony Edwards still, Jaden McDaniels, Okogie, and it says that Karl Anthony Towns is questionable for a personal reason. So keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at Miami here. So Victor Oladipo is questionable. We'll have to keep an eye on that too. Oof, that's a tough game too because 6.5 is a pretty wide spread. Or it's like a very average spread, I guess I should say. Not wide. I don't know why I said wide. It's a very average spread. I think, in my own personal opinion, if Karl Anthony Towns is playing and Victor Oladipo were to be playing, if it was like a perfect wash, I think I'm going to go Minnesota plus the 6.5. I think that they will keep it close. Yeah, I think that they'll keep it close. I'm pretty confident in that one. It just took me a second to really think about it, but I'm pretty confident in Miami and Minnesota. I'm pretty confident that Minnesota is going to keep it close, keep it within 3 or 4. It's going to be an absolute shootout from Minnesota's side. So as long as they can play a little bit of defense and not let the game get out of hand, I think 6.5 is coverable as long as Karl Anthony Towns is playing. Next game, Memphis and Chicago. You guys know my motto, fade Chicago. Chicago does not want to win basketball games for whatever reason. I'm the biggest Bulls fan in the entire world. I literally have so many Bulls jerseys all over, but they just don't want to win. They don't want to win. I don't know if they're trying to tank. I don't know if they're trying, because the only way that the Bulls could even get a pick this year is if we get a top 4 protected, or if we get top 4 in the draft. So unless if we get top 4 and get lucky again like last year, that is the only way that we are going to be able to get a pick. So I don't know what the hell we're doing. We have a good enough roster to make it into the play-in game, but Zach LaVine is going to miss like 2 weeks now because of like COVID stuff, so he's going to be out for sure. So just hammer Memphis. Chicago is an absolute crapshoot, and I got to be honest, this is going to be my best play of the day. I'm probably going to put 2 units on it, maybe a unit and a half, something like that. But I'm going to be hammering Memphis. Might even honestly take the money line. Like how plus odds are the money line? Let's see. They're not. They're not anymore. Oh man. So a lot of people are taking that money line. So take the spread while you can early on the on that Memphis game. Yeah. So 4 point dogs is Chicago. Just take Memphis. Don't even overthink it. Zach LaVine is Zach LaVine's out, and I don't know if we're having any other injuries or not. Satoransky's probable, and then just Makoka and Dotson, which are no big deal. So yeah, hammer Memphis. They're gonna win, and it's probably gonna be by a sizable margin. Next game is Portland and San Antonio. San Antonio has been playing very well lately. I will give that to them, other than losing to this terrible Toronto team. Other than that, they won those 2. They actually kept it close with Denver. They only lost to Denver by 10, which is actually pretty serviceable considering San Antonio doesn't really have that great of a team. Went into overtime with Indiana, went into overtime with Atlanta. So beat Sacramento, and then they did end up losing to Sacramento the game before that, but that's okay. So I got to be honest. Let's take a look at Portland real quick as well. So the only injury they have is Zach Collins. Surprise, surprise. Dude's always injured. I got to be honest. I'm taking Portland minus that 2 or minus the 2.5 or whatever the case might be. I really like that play. I'm not sure why this line is so close. The Portland Trailblazers, even though they haven't been the best lately, excuse me. So they lost to Boston by 1, but realistically, Jason Tatum hit a crazy shot to win it, and I'm glad that he did, because that game I remember I bet on Boston. So I'm very glad. The next game against Miami. Miami's just a very good defensive team, but they beat Detroit. They got smoked by Utah, but against a lot of the not top tier teams, they're actually playing very, very good basketball. Beat Detroit, beat Toronto, beat Orlando, and I don't consider San Antonio a very good team. They're like a very mid-tier team because they still have DeMar DeRozan, so they can still score the ball, and they still have, Keldon Johnson. He will be a good player in the future. I just don't think he's like phenomenal yet. DeJounte Murray's very good young player. Derek White's a good young player. Jakob Poeltl, I don't know. I don't have an opinion for him yet. But anyway, this video is getting long, so I'm just going to hurry up through this. So Portland -2 or -2.5, whichever you can get it. Don't even think about it. Next game is New York versus Dallas. New York is 5-point dogs. This is going to be my crazy bet here for you guys. New York. Take New York plus that 5, or truthfully, if you want some very good odds, if you want some very good plus odds, plus 174, plus 185, plus 190. You could almost triple your money today if you bet on the Knicks money line, which I think that is not going to be a terrible pick if you do. New York is a very good basketball team this year. They are 29 and 27. 29 and 27, which is very, very good. So 25 and 27, or 29 and 27, sorry about that. They beat New Orleans, who's good. They beat the Lakers, who are a mid-tier team. They beat Toronto, who's pretty bad. They beat Memphis, who's pretty bad. They lost to 2 by a very quality team in Boston. Lost to Brooklyn by only 2. They beat Detroit. They did end up losing to Dallas last time by 13. But truthfully, I don't think that that's going to happen again. I think that they're going to get their revenge this time. Trust me on this, you guys. Please take New York plus 5. I do think it's going to be a close game all the way through. No matter how good Luka is, I don't think that that's going to happen unless if there's injuries that I don't know about. Nerlens Noel is questionable, but I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Let's take a look at Dallas too, see if they have any injuries. Just Terry. I don't even know who this is. Tyrell Terry? Oh, he's a rookie. Okay. So I haven't got to know him very well. But no, I got to be honest. I just don't think that they're going to beat this New York team by more than 5. I really don't. I do think that they have a good shot of winning. I think it's kind of a pick'em game when it comes to who's going to win. But I like New York a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and recap my favorite games of the day. First game is an early one. Make sure you bet it early. Indiana plus 10. I like that a lot. So that's going to be my first pick. Second pick, if everyone's healthy in this Philadelphia game, I like the Philadelphia 76ers minus the 2.5. Next game is, I do like Orlando. If you wanted to go ahead and take the money line on Orlando, but I'm probably won't bet that one. I'm not 100% confident in it. Denver minus that 8 points. I do think that they will end up winning and covering by that number. Take Memphis, hammer that Memphis spread. They're going to win. They're going to win by more than 4, in my opinion. I don't see a way that they lose. I do like Portland here, minus 2, but I only usually make like odd number bets, so that way I can never have a wash, regardless of if it's a win or a loss. But I do like Portland, minus 2, and I also really like New York plus 5. So, that is going to wrap it up for me, you guys. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. And let's continue for 4 straight positive days. I counted, I think I'm 10 or 11 and 4 over the last 3 days. So I've been doing pretty well so far. So if you guys did tail me on any down below, make sure you guys let me know which one you guys tailed me on. But I'll catch you guys tomorrow. This is King Stern signing out. Peace.